All right, a warm welcome back from the weekend, everyone. I am Bosin Amafaye, and this is your Money Moves. All right, thank you, everyone. Let's get started with Nigeria's inflation data coming in today from the Statistics Office, printing 21.12% year-on-year for the month of August. According to MBS data, that was lower, slightly lower than 21.88%, which the CPI printed in the month of July. According to Bloomberg estimates, economists were predicting Nigeria's inflation to be around 21.6%, but that what came in was much lower, 20.12%, and that's according to the latest numbers just about an hour or so ago. That's Nigeria's latest inflation. We expect more data from a number of economies around Africa this week. Let's move on into our first story. In Botswana, the president, Duma Boko, has appointed a Nigerian banker, Farouk Gumel, as the chairman of the newly founded Sovereign Wealth Fund. Of course, the multi-billion-dollar fund was designed by Botswana to diversify the economy away from diamonds. Farouk Gumel, who shares Union Bank of Nigeria PLC and, of course, the vice chairman of the TGI Group, was the immediate past chairman of Nigeria's Sovereign Investment Authority, the NSIA. His appointment was announced during the official launch of the Botswana's new Sovereign Wealth Fund just a few days ago. All right, in Southern Africa, Namibia is doubling down on its new oil, gas, and hydrogen sector. Friday, the country kicked off a three-day conference that seeks to put local industries to support what you call the local content development of the emerging multi-billion-dollar energy sector. Now, let's take a soundbite on that.
The policy that is placed before you is for your input. It's our national framework to ensure that our people, our businesses, and our communities benefit directly from Namibia's petroleum resources.
In Algeria, the President Abdelmadjid Tebboune has appointed Sifi Greb as the country's new prime minister. Greb was Algeria's former minister of industry and has been in acting capacity since the dismissal of Nader Labawi last month. The cabinet reshuffle also saw the appointment of Mourad Ajal as the country's new energy and renewable energy minister. Ajal previously served as the CEO of the state power company Sonel Gaz. Algeria is looking to diversify its economy and amid social and economic challenges, and recently hosted the Intra-Africa Trade Fair 2025.
Welcome back, everyone, to the show. That's your Money Moves Monday, the 15th of September. Okay, let's go into the market. How does the money moves the markets across Africa as we get started into the third business week in the month of September? Let's check on the equity side. Of course, you got Nigeria's economic data. Inflation trended lower in the month of August. That's the latest we got about an hour and a half ago. The CPI printing 20.12%. Take that to the market, and you can see on the board 0.79%, a very big start to the new week on the Nigeria's NGX. That's the equity side, 141,700. Then, of course, you look at the rest of the dashboard, and you see a few gains to start the brand new week, with the exception of the Moroccan stock market, the MASI printing 19,717, down by 0.56. The South African market was a flattish Monday, 104,455, despite some other numbers we see on the markets for South Africa. The CEMDEX was up by 0.25%. That's another big jump. The PRVM was roughly flattish in West Africa for the composite, 321.71. The Nairobi market, equities market, was nearing 180 new psychological index reading. The composite 0.18%. The EGX was up 0.15% at the rest of the North Africa and the Arabian markets opened today for the week with a lot of inflow into the Egyptian market. So that's about it on the equities side. Zimbabwe stock market fell by 0.38%, 20759. Or 39 for today. Let's just push that aside and let's move on to the commodity space. And again, you've called the story. Ukraine launched nearly 400 drones against Russia's oil facilities overnight, over the weekend. That raised oil prices, but sticking around the $60 handle. The Brent around 67.17, the US WTI around 62.98, and of course, to see the numbers. Then, of course, there are threats from President Trump on President Putin, the Russian president, further threats if some countries continue to do business as far as oil is concerned with Russia, a Russian oil on a vessel on the waters around the Middle East is also being questioned today. So you've got a whole lot to consider as far as oil prices are concerned. Then you've got supply glut expected in the market as OPEC plus the G8 within the OPEC decided to bring additional barrels of oil, thousands of barrels of oil back into the market in September. So all of that in play today. So, but oil prices moving up more on those attacks on Russian oil refineries by Ukraine. 367 drones were launched overnight, over the weekend. Let's get out of the oil market and move into further commodity space. Resources, gold, that's what you're looking at right now. 0.02%. The bullion shining slightly lower at a $3,685 per ounce. And you look at copper, that's a new high, 4.61, 0.29% in the positive. Iron ore doing 105.43, around 1305 GMT today, 0.24%. Platinum sticking around the 1,400 level by 0.67% in the negative territory. Let me finish up again here on Money Moves tomorrow, Tuesday, the 16th of September, and continue from here. So keep your eyes on the market. From me and the rest of the team at the FMDQ studios here in Lagos, this is your Frontier Africa Reports. This is your Money Moves Monday. I'll see you soon.